Hello again, everyone. This is Zombie Kids Rule, and I'm back again today. I'm going to try to do another Steam Deck gameplay video on the. This game is Wizardry 7. So I did my first video was Wizardry 6. Again, old game, old school RPG game. Before all the I guess the things that make a lot of modern gamers that modern gamers prefer. Wizardry 7, I think, is from 1992. And again, I'll keep saying it probably every time. This is not the ideal way to record these videos, but unfortunately, I haven't figured out a way to record with like OBS or anything, and this is the equipment that I have, so I'm just going to record this way. So Wizardry 7, I'm on the Steam Deck in gaming mode right off the bat. This game is unknown as far as supportability according to Steam, according to Valve. But I've checked it out. It plays, as far as I can tell, it plays perfectly fine. You go in here. It gives you a choice of play Wizardry 7, Crusaders of the Dark Savant. The other one is a play Wizardry 7 COTDS MS-DOS with DOSBox. Basically, it's just a different version. I always pick the top one. I've played this game for years and years and years and years. Let's turn up the sound here. So it's an old game, folks. It's very old. The audio is not fancy, the video is not fancy. But I'm going to go ahead and click through it. You don't need to, maybe. So let's click this button up here. There we go, and it jumps. So Crusaders of the Dark Savant, 1992. Surtech was the game that the company that made this. So you probably can't see this terribly well again because of the the camera that I'm using and the light that I have to use. But basically, you use, just like Wizardry 6, you use the trackpad, the right trackpad, to move the mouse around, and you use the right trigger to select. And that's pretty much the majority of the entire game. You do that. So you have character menu, you have add character, load save game, configuration, which I used to do that with my laptop. I don't, or my other computers I've used. I don't think you need to configure it for the Steam Deck. You can import your characters from Wizardry 6, Bane of the Cosmic Forge, and then you can import your characters from Wizardry 7 to Wizardry 8, or you can quit. Let's just see what configuration does, but let's see. So you have things like your input device mice, normal play level, play level normal, fade, delay. You might actually want to manipulate the delay. I think that has to do with messages, but a lot of stuff like the path name for saving things, I don't have to worry about that. Graphics is set to VGA 256. PC speakers, you can adjust the volume a little bit. Music is a Sound Blaster card. That's not relevant, but you can adjust the levels of things a little bit if you want to. But anyway, so just like Wizardry 6, you can create your own characters. You're going to use the Steam and the X button to input text or to name your characters. We're going to go ahead and go to the character menu, and I'll turn that sound down a little bit. Again, sound is not fancy here, but this is definitely upgraded from Wizardry 6. The graphics were much better in just passing 2 years. You can create characters. Let's go down here a little bit. You can create characters, you can review, delete, rename, you can look at the picture, or you can exit. We're going to go ahead and create a character. And essentially, first thing it wants you to do is enter a name, and then we're going to use the Steam X button. And there we go. And just like the previous time, I can't see the name because unfortunately the keyboard covers it up, so you just got to kind of keep track. We're going to go, let's see, Z O M B I E. Hopefully, if I did that right, we'll press enter. Yeah, zombie, there we go. I'm not going to type in Zombie Kids Rule or anything like that. You can have OK or cancel. I'll click OK. So it puts zombie up here underneath your portrait. And then you have your race, and just like Wizardry 6 and Wizardry 7, because you can move characters from forward in the games. You have human, elf, dwarf, gnome, hobbit, fairy, lizard man, draken, felper, rawwolf, mook. And these are old games. They expect you to read the manual before you play the games. But anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and pick Fairy again, and then it immediately gives you stats: strength, intelligence, piety, vitality, dexterity, speed, personality, and then karma. You get to choose your gender. I'll just go ahead and pick female. Then, based on the stats that you rolled initially, it will give you a number of professions. Sometimes it's really a few, and then because you didn't roll very good, sometimes there's a whole bunch. This one is fighter, priest, alchemist, mage, thief, and bard. There's more. There's like samurai, ninja, Valkyrie, lord, monk. Let's see, a couple other ones, but gadgeteer should be in here. So there's a bunch of other ones based on how you roll. So, and then you've got a bonus of 11, which you can't change until you select your option. So just because of the, I'm going to go ahead and pick Mage again. And then this allows you to distribute your bonus points. And on this one, you get to actually select, like if I jump all the way down here to personality, then I can use the little white, there's these, the stat is, has arrows on either side. And that's how you increase it or decrease it. So we're going to go up here to strength, and even though this is a fairy, in these games, Wizardry 7 might be the same way. I can't remember. Wizardry 6, your carrying capacity, how much weight you can carry, is set when you first create your character, and no matter how strong you get in Wizardry 6, your carrying capacity doesn't change. I think that might have been fixed in Wizardry 7. I can't remember, but I'm just going to go ahead and just increase the increase strength because I don't really care. I'm not really keeping this character. This is just showing how you do it. So you can change any of your stats based on your bonus points. My karma was 1. Yay, karma! And then go ahead and click here when done, and then you get to select your portrait. And I can see now I'm a mage. I'm level 1. My hit points are 6. My stamina is 100%. And then the way you move here is you just click on a side of a portrait, and it advances the portrait. I don't think it goes backwards on the other side. I don't think. No. Actually, yes, it does. So if you click on the sides of the portrait, it moves the choices. And so they have, of course, a few portraits for each race. Not a lot of portraits, not compared to modern games. But again, the graphics are better than Wizardry 6. It was improved. So I'm just going to select that. I get a skill bonus. You don't always get skill bonuses, but sometimes you do, depending on your rolls. And again, just like in Wizardry 6, you have weaponry, a physical, or academia. But unlike Wizardry 6, this one says I get 4 points in weaponry, 1 point in physical, and 6 points in academia. So I'm just going to go ahead. What is this? A mage? We'll just do, say, pole and staff, and we'll increase that by a couple. Well, 2, and then we'll increase wand and dagger, and then we'll increase sling by 1. Whoops. And then the physical, basically swimming, climbing, scouting, oratory. So yeah, in this game, you actually have to have points in swimming or climbing, or you can die. But oratory is necessary because that helps you cast spells reliably. So I'm going to pick that. And then academia, let's bump that music down again. So academia, artifacts, mythology, mapping. So there is a mapping one in Wizardry 7, unlike Wizardry 6. And then scribe and thaumaturgy. Thaumaturgy is the ability to cast mage spells. Scribe is the ability to use like scrolls and things. So I'm just going to go ahead and throw up, put up the thaumaturgy a bunch of times, and so then it would ask me to exit, and then over here is where it sees the different elements for spell casting, and right now you can see fire, water, air, divinity, mental for psionics, and then earth over here, and it says 0 of 0 because I haven't picked any spells yet. Up here I have rank, experience, monster kills. I think MKS is monster kills. And so I'm going to go ahead and press exit. Select a new spell for your spell book. So the way I do that is it just pops up with this window, and by selecting the different like fire right now is animated, and it's energy blast. If I click on the water, that becomes animated. It moves a little bit, and then I have chilling touch and terror. If I choose air, the little cyclone will move around, and there are no air spells. I don't have any that I could choose. Earth, the little rocks move. Armor, shield, direction. The mental is sleep, and then the little eye is winking. And then divinity, it's the little glow around the thing is moving. You may not be able to see it, but I don't have any divinity for mage. So I can either pick basically a fire, a water, mental, or earth right now at first level. So I'm just going to go ahead and pick energy blast and click the learn button. And then I get another one because mages get 2. So I'll go ahead and pick chilling touch because I want 2 attacking spells. Terror isn't bad. This is just one of those things you have to learn which spells work the best. Oh, that's right. I haven't done my karma yet. That's why it was 1. So again, it's just randomly changing the karma until I click the seal thy fate. So, a karma of 2. Look at that. I got crappy luck. So save this character or no. Again, I'm not going to save this character, but just like Wizardry 6, if you really want a specific character, if you really want to start with one of the harder professions that require more attribute points, and therefore you need a bigger bonus, you have to go through the entire character selection process before you can, and then say no before you can reroll. I'm pretty sure. Actually, let me just double check again, because I don't think there was a reroll option. I'm just going to go name this just T. We'll put that T. And then let's say okay, and then that's true. Let's say put Hobbit, male Hobbit, and now this time I had a few different options. I had a Ranger, so a Ranger was a possibility. So I'm going to click Ranger, and then there's no reroll. I don't see any reroll option here. I'm trying to see around the glow of the screen. There's an exit over here on the side that I could click exit. So I'm just going to go ahead and distribute my ability bonuses. Doesn't really matter. I'm just going to bump them up. I only had 2 anyway. Click here when done, and the portrait is this, portrait. You get a skill bonus, and I'm just looking. Rank, move, none, exit. So, I could exit. So if I wasn't happy with this bonus roll, I'm sorry, with my attributes, because of the roll that I got, I could click exit, and that would, I think I can. Well, no, I guess not. You can use the exit when you're just reviewing your character later on. So, that's pretty much, so, I'm stuck, so I'm just going to go ahead and bump these in. And the point I'm trying to make is that in Wizardry 6 and 7, they're great games. I absolutely love these games. Oh, the Ranger can learn ninjutsu. That's interesting. In Wizardry 8, that's not true, I don't think. But anyway, maybe I'm misremembering. Anyway, I guess what I'm trying to say is that in Wizardry 6 and 7, if you want a particular type of character, if you want a particular type of bonus, and you want to maximize your beginning level characters, it takes a while, because you have to fully create the character, get through the whole creation process, and then not save it and start over again. And you have a party of 6, so you can make 6 characters. You can start with less. I don't know if Wizardry 7 will let you start with 1 or not. I know Wizardry 6 will not. Wizardry 8 will. But one of the nice things about these games, Wizardry 6 especially, is you can change character classes at will, and essentially it puts you back as a level 1 character. So if you change a character class later in the game, you go up in levels really fast. So Wizardry 6, you can change characters all over the place, change character classes, I should say. Wizardry 7, I can't specifically remember if it puts you at level 1. I think it does. And then Wizardry 8, it changed significantly. You can't just jump from class to class. You can change classes, but it's not this. It doesn't behave the same way. So anyway, that was creation. You know, again, if I had characters, I could review them, delete, rename. So I'm going to go ahead and exit out of here, and I'm just going to show. We're going to add characters because they have the same named as Wizardry 6. It's the exact same starting party, and so I'm going to go ahead and just add these guys. So you click on each one, and you click OK, and it basically adds it in I guess party order. And of course, you want your weaker folks to be in the back. Wizardry 8 significantly changed the way the party formation works for the better, but this is just a standard way of doing it in the older games. So I've got a fighter, 2 fighters, a thief, a priest, a mage, and an alchemist. And then again, I could do character menu, I could review any one of these, I could dismiss them, I can start a new game. So I'm going to go ahead and review a character member. And this just takes you to the same type of screen when you created it. The only difference is now there's a suit of armor over here, and it lists your armor class. And the worst armor class is 10, and then it goes down, just like D&D, Dungeons and Dragons, the old version. You know, you can get down to -10 in your armor. So the lower the number, the better. And of course, you have your equipment over here. But just like Wizardry 6, when I forgot to do it when I was making that video, you have to equip these. You have to actually equip them on your character. And the way you do that here is you click on it with the right trigger, and then you, if I remember correctly, you move it over. Yeah. So you actually click with the trigger, and you don't have to hold it, and you just roll it over to your suit of armor, and then click the trigger again, and it adds it to your character. That's how you equip in Wizardry 7, which is different than Wizardry 6. And so now you can see over here, you probably can't see it, but my armor class has changed. My overall armor class with unprotected stuff is +9. Looks like the body is +4, the legs are +5, the feet are +8. So the shield lowered the rest of the armor class. So all these are equipped now. I have a long sword, buckler, shield, leather cuirass, fur leggings, sandals. My carrying capacity is I'm carrying 29 out of 166. I have no gold. He's got 10 hit points, and that's pretty much it. Now, I'd have to do that for every one of my characters. Whoops. So can I move from character to character? Let's try it. Nope. Okay, so none of the buttons move from character to character, and that's fine. So I would have to basically exit, and then I would have to go and review again. So I'd review this guy, and he's a Draken, which means he can breathe acid in combat. And again, I'd have to equip him just like I did my other guys. So I'd have to do this for all of my party members, and you know, in order for them to be having a weapon available and have armor to protect them. So I'd have to do this with all my characters before I start the game, and you know, but I don't really have to, if you know, just as demonstration purposes go. I'm just trying to show you that the game works perfectly fine. Up here is there's certain spells you can cast, and it shows up like direction. It helps you with compass and things. There's like armor shield. There's like one for blessing weapons. I can't remember what it's called. Enchanted blade, I believe. Missile shield. So there's different spells you can cast that show up here when they're active. And when you do have things equipped, there's a little weapon icon here. So you can see it better over here. There's a weapon and there's a shield or 2 empty hands. It shows you what you have in your hands. I will say Wizardry 7 is a drastic improvement. I'm sorry, Wizardry 8 is a drastic improvement over Wizardry 6 and Wizardry 7. There's a campfire down here. That's how you sleep. There's a disc over here, which is how you save. There's a little magnifying glass, which is how you search. There's a little keyhole, which I think is how you pick locks. I can't remember. The little hand with the key, I think, is how you use things. I can't quite remember. And then the spell book is how you open up your spell book. And I'll just go ahead and equip this last person because he definitely needs stuff on him before he attacks or you know, gets into trouble. The Wizardry games are notoriously unforgiving. you can die really easy in the Wizardry games. Now this is interesting. This has given me an option. I already equipped a primary weapon. I can equip these throwing daggers as a secondary weapon, so I can actually have two in this. And then like I said, the Wizardry games, they are notoriously difficult. They don't hold your hand. They're old games, and if you can die in the first combat if you're not careful. So they're not unreasonable. I mean, I've played these games for decades, quite frankly, and whoops, no, I don't want that. See, I equipped the light heals. I don't want that. So I'm just going to click on my quarterstaff and make that my weapon. So these are definitely old school games, but again, I absolutely love this. I actually made a mistake. I said that the lizard guy breathes fire. That's not true. This is a Draken character. He's the one that breathes fire. Not fire. Breathes. I think he breathes acid as an option for an attack. It uses a lot of stamina, but yeah, I was incorrect. The lizard man does not do that. And then, anybody who wants to play these games, if you're unfamiliar with them, I would suggest when you buy the game, I'm pretty sure it still comes with the manual. You can actually access the manual probably from if you can't access it from Steam, you should be able to access it from the game folder on your computer. I would definitely recommend reading the manual, because there's a lot of information in there. It talks about races, talks about classes, talks about skills, talks about the spells. There's a lot of stuff that you should probably know. So anyway, once you're all done, I always create my own characters. I create new characters, the ones that I prefer, and then I start the game. But we'll just start the game. And now this is just like Wizardry 6. It asks for a security clearance, right? Please turn to page 32 of your manual and enter the second word located in paragraph 3, line 2. That's how they did the security feature in the old days. Again, here, I'm going to click on this. It's not going to do anything, so I'm going to do the Steam X button, and then I'm just going to press enter, and it's like it works. It doesn't really require something. So just like with Wizardry 6, the words are very easy to read on this. There's no dialogue, right? So it's not like you're going to let's see, I'm going to click through this. There we go. It's not like you're going to hear them talking, so there's no voiceover. But the words on the screen are very easy to read. It's not like some of the other games where the text is so tiny you can't tell what's going on. You can go through this whole beginning, but I'm just skipping through. I'm using this button up here to skip. So it won't recognize the trigger, unfortunately, but it will recognize this button up here. So my thumb button. There's V Domina. So this was very risque back in 1992. All the young people were like, "Oh my goodness!" So it's very tame compared to today. So there's the Terang, there's the Umpani. They're in the Wizardry 8 as well. I don't think they're in Wizardry 6. They might be, but so anyway, we just flip through this. 6, 7, and 8. Wizardry 6, 7, and 8 are inherently linked, which is why you can play any of the games independently, but it was why they set it up where you could import your characters from one to another. And there's a few items in the game that you can't get unless you carry it from one game to another. It's just the way they did it. And then sometimes your starting point in the game is different if you import your characters. So now, just like Wizardry 6, it is 3D, right? You have your viewing screen, you have your characters on the side, you have your spells up here if you cast them, and then now I'm clicking the trigger to actually advance the text. So again, I should read this if I was really playing, and then the way here you can't. So I'm searching now because weirdly enough, pulling the thing down is the same as doing this. I can use my D-pad to do forward, backwards, right turn, and left turn. So I could use the D-pad if I wanted to. I could, of course, use the arrows themselves, but the D-pad's good. I would actually use this probably all the time, because that's how I play these games. Because these old games are ones where you also really need to look at every wall, because if you don't, you're going to miss things. And you also need to try to step through things, because a lot of times, I got to turn this up a little bit, they have invisible walls. So let's see. So there is some night sounds going on here. So you can use the D-pads. Again, let's see what this is. I can't do that right now. Can't. Oh, what does that say? Oh, who? It's probably using something. Yeah. So that's how you select the use, drop, or cancel. So that's the use or drop button. I think that's the unlock button. This is search. So in this game, you either have to manually search, or I know in Wizardry 8, a ranger automatically searches. I can't remember if Wizardry 7 and 6 are the same way. And then you click on the spell book and it will say who, right? So it comes up, what it says underneath that hand is who. So I click on the mage, and then it pulls up their spell menu. So if I want to cast outside of combat, that's how I do it. And then if you have enough energy, you can choose the level of your spell, 1 through 7. 1 through 7. Okay? And, there's apparently combat. Oh no! Some sort of 3 bugs came after me. So now it immediately pops up. This is turn-based, which I love turn-based games. Each character has a different option, so my fighter can fight, parry. He has no spells, but it's there. He could use, but he has nothing to use. I could try to run. He could move, which is going to allow him to basically change position in the fighting order, if you will. He could move to the back or something. Or equip. He could change equipment. So he's just going to fight. I'm going to click fight, and then he has a choice with his weapon. He can swing or thrust. Swing, I think, is easier to hit with, but does less damage. Thrust penetrates and does more damage, but I think it may be a little bit harder to hit with, so it'll depend. I'm just going to go ahead and swing. My other fighter is going to do fight and thrust, and because all the bugs are in the same group, I don't have to define them. Sometimes there's like 3 or 4 groups, and you have to pick which group you're going to attack. So the thief can also hide. So he's going to go ahead and hide, and then if he hides in shadows, then he can actually do like backstabs or things. My priest can also do spells. You also have another button here that's back up. That allows you, after the first character, it allows you to back up so you can like change your decisions. So spell, let's see. This priest has make wounds and heal wounds. So I'm going to go ahead and do make wounds at level 1, and it's going to click cast to set it up. Now here's my dragon, and he can attack from the back. This is a short weapon. This is a short staff. Can't reach the bugs from the back, so there's no fight option. He'd have to have something else, like a bow or a sling or ranged or something longer. So he can parry, he can cast a spell, but he can breathe. So I'm going to do the breath weapon, and he's going to breathe all over those guys, which is going to use a lot of stamina, but that's okay. And then my other alchemist is the same way. Can't reach from the back because they got a short staff. But what does he have or she have? So they have acid splash, which is an attack, and then heal wounds. So alchemist can also heal, but we're going to go ahead and do acid splash, cast. And then once you're all done, it says start fight or back up, which allows you to change your choices, or terminate. You can actually exit the game, which is nice, because in Wizardry 6, you get into combats that could take a little while, turn-based, and you can't exit them. You can't get out, and you're just stuck there. So this is kind of nice, but it doesn't allow you to just leave the combat. You got to exit the entire game, so you can't save it. So I'm going to go ahead and pick attack or start fighting, and it's going to run through the round. So I thrust longsword, I missed. Acid splash, I hit him and killed him. Did 6 damage. So my thief tried to hide and failed. So I breathe acid, and I'm going to kill them both probably. Yep, killed them both with the acid spray. And then you still attack, so it keeps attacking. Yay, I defeated the monsters. I earned 81 XP. Okay. And so there's not a lot of fancy music in this old game, but that's pretty much how combat works. And again, you can move around. Whoops, well, yeah, it's going to give me some dialogue. It's going to talk to me about different things, what I see and stuff. Again, you know, obviously I would read this, but just playing around. So yeah, Dark Savant, yeah, it's advancing the storyline. I know. There we go. Come on, I don't care. There. And then again, you know, you're just moving around like this until you find where you're going, or you run into another combat, right? And oops, there's more stuff. I'm trying to find some place. Oh, beware. So it doesn't really matter because I'm not going to keep playing, but I could camp. So resting, and I can stop at any time by clicking it again. Camping is how you can heal. You can get your magic back. You can get your stamina back, and you can also, of course, use spells to do some of that stuff. And again, searching if you don't have a ranger. And then we're just going to save. Well, I'm not going to save, but I'm going to click on the disc, and I have resume play, configuration, save and resume, save and quit, quit no save if I don't want to. So I'm just going to quit no save, and it takes me back to the main menu, and I can just quit the game. And I'm going to go back to Steam. So this game, as far as I'm concerned, Wizardry 7 plays perfectly fine on the Steam Deck. You use the right trackpad to move the cursor in the game. You use the right trigger to select. Sometimes you click A. Sometimes you click this button up here to advance through that beginning. When if you want to skip like the intro or things, and then you can use the D-pad to move, and if you do use some other controllers, they may randomly do other things in the game, and this is all without configuring the controller. So I mean, if you wanted to configure the controller to change the way different things work, so you could use your maybe you could use your joystick. I'm not sure. Because it has turn versus move, right, where you can sidestep versus turning. But I'm sure you could configure stuff if you know what you're doing. So again, as far as I'm concerned, this plays great. I'm going to go ahead and just put that to sleep. And so that's Wizardry 7. Again, three of my favorite games: Wizardry 6, Wizardry 7, Wizardry 8. They improved each time they created them, but I will caution you if you decide to play those games. Wizardry 6 and Wizardry 7 are challenging. They are very unforgiving, and Wizardry 6 has no mapping. In the old school days, you drew your own maps on grid paper. Nowadays you can go online. I'm sure you can search for. There's a couple websites out there that have maps for old games. But even with the maps for Wizardry 6, it can get a little confusing. Even with the maps, there's some pretty mean things set up in Wizardry 6. The mines in particular are pretty rough as far as mapping and trying to figure out where you are and stuff like that. So they're old school games, but I happen to love them. So I've invested hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours between the three games. So anyway, I hope this is helpful. Again, showing that Wizardry 7 plays perfectly fine on the Steam Deck, no problems. I'm sure you can configure it if you wanted to. And if you haven't checked them out and it looks like your type of game, give it a try. Because if you're an old gamer like me, you just might fall in love with them. So if these videos are helpful, please like, subscribe, get notifications, leave comments. If you do like some of these games that I play, let me know. If you've played them yourself and you really enjoy them, let me know. I'm happy to hear things. Other than that, I hope everybody has a great day, and I'll try to get some more of these videos up in the hope that it helps people. All right, thanks, folks. Have a great afternoon.